everyone, it's Nick from NixCrossing. Welcome to the layout room. It is a beautiful rainy day outside, perfect day to do some scenery. So here we go, all aboard. Alright guys, to my left here we have an array of products, so check these out. All different types of ballast, flocking material, fuzzy green expensive stuff as I call it on the channel, and lots of fun stuff. Once you combine them all together, you get a beautiful layout result, just like I'll show you around the station area of the layout. Now this is going to be the Railfan Park, and you guys will be joining me in this video as we get this whole side of the layout together. So before we head over to the finished portion of the layout, well, nothing's finished about a layout, but the side of the layout that has the most scenic fluffery, we'll check that out right after I go through what these products are, what they're used for, or at least what I use them for. And there's really a million ways to do this. I've seen so many videos on YouTube, professional videos, or even presentations at train shows about how to do scenery, but this is kind of like how I do my scenery up here. So here we go. Let's go through these products. All right, guys, so as we talk about these products to my left, we're going to be going from sequential value of importance from your first step to your last steps and whatever you'd like. But ballast, I recommend doing first, and we'll talk about that once we get into the hands-on portion of this video. But for this layout, I'm using the coarse ballast from Woodland Scenic. Right there, you get these thicker granules, and this is color gray. They do different mixtures and things. There's like almost like a sandy color, and then the gray stuff. I'm going with gray for a couple reasons. The track I'm using is also gray, so it kind of camouflages in. Looks great if you miss a spot, and eventually if you find a spot, you can go back and touch it up with some rocks, or even just put some fluffy green expensive stuff in there. It'll be perfectly fine. So ballast first. Like I said, we'll talk about the importance of that. Next, fine ballast. This is black fine ballast. I use this for all my roadways. Check that out. Look how fine it is. It's like powder. This is what I use for all my parking lots, roadways, all that stuff. I can kind of layer it on thick, and we'll get into that too, because for the Railfan Park we'll be working on, there is going to be a little bit of a parking lot in here. An official, I guess, official parking lot, so they don't look like trespassers. So, fine ballast, Woodland Scenics. And the ballast, these are $13 a piece. A friend of mine has a really good relationship with Woodland Scenics, so he's able to get this stuff for under 15 bucks, which is fantastic. So 2 ballasts. Next, fine turf. And this is like a yellow mustardy color. They do have different blends of turf. If you guys have ever been to a hobby shop and there's a Woodland Scenics or Scenic Express, we'll talk about them in a second here. There's like a million different colors of this turf. They add in like little red, little green specks, black, white specks, anything you want. I use this around the tracks to show like dead grass spots, kind of layer up some colors and things like that. So fine turf, and this color is yellow grass right there on the bottle. And I also forgot to mention, I'll be using some of my leftover supply. So if you don't see like a brand new shaker being used or whatever, it's in my stash already from 2 layouts before. So the next Woodland Scenic shaker, we have coarse green turf right here. It's called light green, and this is to add a little bit of depth over top of the fine turf. So usually I go fine turf as the glue. You'll see it in the video here. The glue will seep through, add some coarse turf on top, give it some depth and some structure. So the next Woodland Scenics, this is the last one I got of this run. We have blended turf. So before I was talking about like they add in different colors. So this one is green blended turf. So we don't get a size turf. It's like a fine turf, but it's blended. Check that out in the top there. All different kinds of stuff. There's like some yellow and green and more green and yellow all mixed in here. So this stuff. All right, guys, and the next 2 products are actually from Scenic Express, and these 2 eco packaging bags, I guess you can call them. They look like coffee bags, and I really do enjoy this product in this presentation because you can actually reach in a bag and grab stuff and spread it out using your hands, and then you're also not left with a shaker. Now, after doing this for 20 years, you're left with like a million shakers, so I end up recycling a lot of them, and I feel like they've gotten thinner. Like when we were kids, they didn't dent like this, so thinner plastic, but when you're done with this bag, you just kind of ball it up and throw it in the wastebasket. You're not left with a shaker, bottle, whatever. But the Flock and Turf line, excellent line of products, really gives your layout depth. We were talking about depth earlier. You put this stuff down, it's like fluffy, very fluffy scenery material. There's a glare on the bag, but you guys will see it. And Scenic Express makes different stuff than Woodland Scenics. And last but not least, for this project, we're going to need a spray bottle for the denatured alcohol. Denatured alcohol right here, the clean, safe fuel. This is like a couple bucks. And glue. And for glue, I know a lot of you guys will use Scenic Hold, things like that, or scenery glue. I use this, and you guys might be surprised. Some of you may not be surprised, but this right here, just good old Elmer's school glue right here in a gallon. This is like $12. This will last me, I don't know, 1 or 2 layouts, probably 1 layout. And the spray bottle here, yeah, it's got a hole in the bottom. That's why it's all taped from one of our particular residents here that crawl on 4 legs. So we're going to get moving here. We're going to start working in this section. Here is the finished station area. So in here, got tons of Woodland Scenic material. It's glued down. Some of it moves, but, you know, it's mostly glued down. Just, I recommend not sneezing up here or anything like that. This is all glued down for sure. This is all ballast, glued down, nice and tough. If you work it, yeah, it peels up on you. It's pretty clean in the gauge. Sometimes I'll run a shop vac just in the gauge to get all the big rocks out, so gears and whatever grease doesn't suck it into the engines. But this is kind of like what the ballasting will look like and some of the greenery work when we're all done. Now if I go over to the crossing here, this is all Woodland Scenic ballast. It's all mostly glued down. Yeah, you get some residue here and there, but like I said, don't sneeze up here. This is mostly glued down. This is just a thick layer of ballast with the alcohol put in there with lots and lots of school glue. Let it sit, then sprinkle it on top. All right, guys, so my plan is to show you how I do this in just a small area here, just right in this opening. I'm gonna have to fight around all these models and whatnot, but I'm gonna show you how I do this, and then I'm gonna move on to bigger and better things, putting down the fluffy green expensive stuff and some other items too. I found some trees underneath the layout we can use and all that fun stuff too. So yeah, let me get to it. So we're going to be using this coarse ballast right here. Then we're going to fill this container up with the ballast right there. Just get a good amount. I like using this as a, you know, a good working ballast spreader right here. And what I like to do is just spill it out over the track like that. I'm just going to show you guys this little area. And use the best tool that God gave me as my hands right here. Take a finger and a thumb. I just do this. Right over all the ties, exposing all the ties. And then when you get this clump here, you can just push it down, push it up. And you can use a brush for this if you don't like touching ballast or whatever, but I found out using a brush just kind of takes forever. And I just did this little section right here. Now on the inside of the gauge, you want to get that nice and clean. You want to be able to see your ties in there, just like the real deal. All right, add some more ballast in here. And we can do the other side too when we're all done this side. Sometimes you have to do like one of these pours. And just like I said, finger and a thumb. Boom, that easy. No fancy ballast spreaders or anything like that. They're helpful, but you know, just take your time. Now the alcohol, the reason why I use the alcohol in here, you could use water, but it just makes a mess. It's to break the surface tension prior to putting the glue down, which is diluted as well. We do a 50-50 mix in the Elmer's bottle right here. So 50% glue up to here, the rest water. There's some left over in here. You can hear how loose that is. But yeah, 50-50 mix. You don't want to go too heavy on the glue because the glue will just sit on top, and then when it goes to dry, it'll come out. You'll see like a snake pattern. It's weird, but you want to keep it nice and light on the glue. So let's get this done. And get this corner here, and we can get this corner here. Should have just enough for that. Yep, there we go. And like I said, finger and a thumb, and just enough so you see the ties through the ballast. And then kind of pack her down a little bit. You don't want to like, because the incline in the track, like this plastic ridge over here or back here, the ballast will kind of fall down. So yeah, it is kind of a thick stack of ballast, but we'll cover up a lot of this extra when it comes to the grass and stuff. Now I get to do this backside here. Just following the profile of the plastic. So you guys take a look at that. Lift up the tripod for you. It's all basically done. Now we just have to glue her down. All right, guys, next we're going to take our spray applicator bottle and we're going to break the surface tension of the ballast. And you do it everywhere. Both sides of the track, especially the gauge. And I do this, I just follow the rail. Look at that, it's like magic. And look as it seeps down through it. You can do one more pass. It just seeps right through it. Now, if I didn't do this, you would get a clump, which I can show you guys really quick. Let me take some ballast. And even with 50-50 mix water and ballast, here, I'll do a little spot right here. So look, we got our ballast right there in that clump. Even patted down and everything, I take the glue. Watch what happens. It just clumps. If you get any of the school glue on the track, it comes out with water. Alright guys, so this little section of track is all finished ballasting. Off camera, I'm going to finish from, this portion all the way over. It's going to take forever, so I don't want to bore you guys to death with that. But when we come back, we're going to work on the fuzzy green expensive stuff. After, of course, I show you the ballasting job. And you have to do the ballasting first if you're using the denatured alcohol method, because this stuff will actually creep under your scenery and then bubble it up everywhere. Just be like a pizza party. So ballast first, then your fuzzy green expensive stuff, and you'll be good to go. Alright guys, so check this out. So from there, all the way down, keep on going, all the way down to here is all ballasted. So track 1 and 2, it took about, I want to say about an hour, honestly, to get it done right. And in the meantime, actually, I wanted to give you guys kind of a sneak peek of what this ballast and scenery will look like when we're all done. So right here is a Strasbourg Railfan shack caboose. Got a little conductor there, it looks like. But we're going to work on the parking lot next. So I'm going to set that up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is going to be the parking pad. From this section here, kind of over in this area to my left. But this here is going to be like the main parking pad. We'll have a fence in here. And we'll give some green space as well before it. So it's not all just parking lot. We're also going to continue on with this white fence going up to here to keep people nice and safe from the trains. So the way we're going to do this is actually we're going to use fine ballast right here from Woodland Scenic. Nice powdery stuff. And we're going to take our glue water mix, still 50-50. And we're going to make a perimeter here. So I'm going to go from right here underneath the ballast. Lightly shake it over top, right up to the track. Alright guys, so the parking lot is mostly done. Got some touching up to do. But we're going to work on this side of the Railfan Park. I'm going to do some grass in here, some different colors, to show you guys how I blend and mix different colors. I also have a couple of the canisters that I didn't use in the beginning of the video to show you guys. I have some like leftover, like this is a fine ballast blend. It looks like dirt. It's really cool. I can put some of that around here. But it's going to be pretty easy. We're just going to use a handful of colors and some of that flocking material. Alright guys, so this is the area we'll be working in right in here. And we're going to use our 50-50 glue mix right here. It's already prepared. So, same as before at the parking lot. This is called blended turf, but it's the same color. This one looks a little bit older. I do have some Woodland Scenic stuff that is quite old. So we're just going to take this cap, spread it around, because we're going to work our way up. We're going to layer this in. There we go. Because dead grass grows around ballast. Surprise. Next, I'm going to take this stuff here is a turf and flock mix. Make it rain over top. Just mixing it in. And then with the green, right over top. Just covering up some of the areas we missed. And it's as easy as that. So, I mean, it's not too bad. I'm going to fill in a lot of these areas now with... actually have a bag of flock material. This is what that eco packaging looks like. You can stick your hand in here and just grab some and just put it in areas that you think needs it, and it adds some depth to our grassland here. More of a yellow color right here. We'll add some of that. And I'll add some trees too. And with trees, you just add them where you feel like them. Check that out. It's all pretty much done, and I got some finishing touches. So that brown fine ballast, we're going to use that as dirt because there's a door on here, and rail fanners, you know, they're going to want to go up to the door and see if it's open. So we'll add some of that there. Make it look like a dirt path going up to the door, just like that. And add some more dirt going to the window because people are going to go up and read the sign and laugh about it. And then you want to do some dirt around to the parking lot area because people are going to be walking to that door a lot. And you're also going to want to have like some areas of the Railfan park that have dirt for people standing and taking pictures all day. And then we're also going to put in a bench, probably right in this area. So we'll add some dirt there for feet and all that. Got to move this up for a second just to get underneath the building. There's a square, and here I'll just do it all green. Just gently. There we go. Because you don't want to see pink underneath your structure. So then we'll put this back carefully. All right, guys, so the Railfan Park is, I would say, like 80% done because I got most of the scenery done, and I kind of went further than what I expected. So we actually ballasted all the way to this area of the platform, and that's all kind of, at least it's green, so we'll have to see how it goes, but I'm going to spin you guys around, give you the full look of the Railfan Park and the back corner, and I'll explain what I did for what reasons for the future. So here we go. Got a lot of work done. The ballast is still drying, so you're going to see lots of glue and residue everywhere, but that's all part of the fun. So as you can see, our parking lot is now inhabited by some rail fans. There we go. Got this guy. He's fairly impressed. He's like, he just sped into the parking lot in his Corvette, and he's ready for a train. Got a family down here, and this B&O truck. The door panel here says B&O, if it ever focuses. There you go. B&O right there. We're going to move left here. Got some people chilling on benches in town there. Let's see. Zoom in on them. There we go. We got someone taking pictures of a train on track 1. People just sitting there, relaxing in front of the Cherry Hill station. In this back corner, this big space here, I was not expecting to do anything with that today. But then I thought about it. I'm already reaching over the track to do the scenery. I just threw some greenery back there. What I plan to put back there is actually a mobile home in this area right here, away from the track. Then further back in the corner, I have a Lionel house that needs a good home. So that will be the residence of the railroad up here. And if I go left a little bit, I'll show you guys some of the other details I worked in. In the back here, we actually have the hobo boxcar with 2 guys. This guy's drunk. He just fell over. I'll have to fix him later. These are not glued down yet. It's just statically placed to kind of get an idea of what I want, but the fire is in place, it's all wired up. Those are just LEDs. They work off the 14 volt AC system. You can get them at hobby shops. And I believe I got these at Choo Choo Barn, but they're really, really nice. Back out, I just got some other trees in here, temporary. Another rock, this I thought fit kind of nicely in there. I have all these extra rocks from the rock cut on the last layout, so I thought I would add them in. Now, originally, I didn't want to go past like this point with scenery, but I was actually really close to where I stopped scenery for the station, right in this area here. So I thought about it. Might as well just fill her in, ballast everything while it's dirty, and then I'll just worry about this back corner for the the ice house, and this freight shed right here that I painted up. I've got to do scenery pretty much from this track and back. Pretty easy to do, honestly. Just a lot of green, some industrial stuff, darker colors, things like that. All right, everyone, that's going to conclude this video of the brand new Railfan Park up here in the NixCrossing studio layout. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing me work with some of the scenery stuff, and hopefully you learned something. This is how I do it. Doesn't mean it's right, wrong, or whatever way. It's the Nix way. So that's how I do my ballasting. That's how I put in parking areas, roads, and also some of the green work. Like I said before, use your imagination, play around with stuff. Think of different colors and things. And you can do a lot of this with just a couple of those canisters of, fuzzy green expensive stuff. You don't need all these different colors. You just get a couple of them and mix them up, experiment, and just use your imagination. It becomes a lot of fun. It's kind of like painting a picture. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Unfortunately, today we're not running any trains in this video because this stuff isn't dry yet. So I don't want it sucking up in the locomotives or the cars. I'm going to wait for this layout to completely dry and then have a lot of fun filming this whole Railfan Park area. It's going to be awesome. But anyways, if you guys are new to the channel, always consider subscribing. Love reading your guys' comments, and giving the video one of these really does help out. YouTube also gave me a tip jar this week, so check that out. It's a brand new way to give content creators a little bit of an extra push, but just throwing that out there. But anyways, everyone, have a great night. Happy railroading as always. We'll see you next time.